Oda just blew everyone's mind with chapter 1060 of One Piece by demonstrating the power of what I deem to be the most powerful character in One Piece history. Hi, I'm Vagabond Kana, and what better way to demonstrate your power than to blow up an entire civilization and pretend like it never existed? Just like you can demonstrate your power by hitting that subscribe button and liking the video as well. Come and join the Vagabond's journey. Imu really channeled his inner Enel in this chapter, striking from the skies above. It's funny because he only really wanted to annihilate one person, instead he annihilated an entire country. Kinda overkill, don't you think? But that's very similar to what Enel did. Not just the annihilating an entire island part, but Enel would often strike from above, like a god. He would usually use his devil fruit mixed with observation haki to listen to the people to see what they were saying. If they were talking smack about him, or saying something he didn't like, he struck them from above. Enel was a very petty individual. But safe to say, Im and the Gorosei were doing the exact same thing in this situation. They were listening in on Sabo's conversation with Dragon. Im didn't like Sabo, didn't like what Sabo had to say, so he struck the island. Very Enel of you, Imu. Not only that, but Enel had minions that fought for him that resemble angels. Granted, all of the Skypians resemble angels, but the point here is that Imu has the Seraphim, very strong creatures that resemble that of angels. They have angel-like wings. And coupled with the fact that the celestial dragons see themselves as gods, just like Enel saw himself as God. Yeah, this is totally not a reference to Enel at all, in the slightest, can't even see the resemblance. Crossing out Lelouchia Kingdom like it was the island version of the Death Note. Just like that, Lelouchia Kingdom never existed. But the question still remains, was this Imu's power alone? Or was this Uranus that destroyed the entire country? You see, there are three ancient weapons. One being Poseidon, that's of the sea, and it controls different sea creatures. One being Pluton, and that's known to be a battleship that can destroy an entire island itself, similar to what happened in chapter 1060. And then there's Uranus. More than likely, Uranus is related to the sky. As you can see, it attacks the island from above, where it's hidden in the clouds. This would make there be ancient weapons of land, sea, and air. So now that we know that Imu has a tight hold over Uranus, and judging off of the page in chapter 1060, it's safe to say that Uranus is very big, able to encompass the entirety of the island. So with that knowledge, assuming that this is in fact an ancient weapon, we now know that Pluton is in Wano, Poseidon is in Fishman Island, and Uranus is being used by the world government. So with all this being said, it's very easy for me to say that Imu is keeping in check of Uranus, and taking very good care of Uranus. Okay, alright, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm doing that on purpose, I'm not gonna lie. But in all seriousness, Uranus is in control of the world government, more than likely in Marijois. But it is possible, very possible, and I saw this in one of my comment sections. Imu may just be Uranus itself. Similar to how Shirahoshi is Poseidon, Imu may actually be Uranus, and capable of bringing about that amount of destruction by his own power. I do believe that Imu is going to be the final villain of One Piece. And as the final villain of One Piece, it makes sense to be the strongest. Now I know there are other candidates for being the final villain of One Piece, such as Akainu and Blackbeard. Although I do honestly believe that these guys are just stepping stones. Especially Akainu. Not an insult to Akainu, trust me. Akainu is my favorite antagonist in One Piece, period. Like, the way he donutted Ace, just beautiful, loved it, brought tears to my eyes. But I can't in good faith sit here and say that Akainu will be the final antagonist. Yes, okay, he killed Luffy's brother, and you know Luffy's gonna probably want to get Akainu for that. And Akainu is the fleet admiral of the Marines. And the Marines are the direct enemies of the pirates. Luffy being a pirate does kind of make sense. I get it. I understand the concept of it. But at the same time, Akainu answers to the Gorosei. He answers to the world government. And who is at the top of said world government? Imu. As for Blackbeard, him and Luffy are similar but different. There's a duality between the two. One's chaotic good, the other's chaotic bad. One's about freedom and cares about his friends and protecting those that he loves. The other is about freedom, but not caring about anyone else but himself. They're both after the One Piece, so it does make sense to a large degree for Blackbeard to be the final villain, because he's in direct competition with Luffy. However, I do not think he is the final villain. I kind of view Blackbeard as more so like a Madara Uchiha of One Piece. Big figure, not the final villain. But Imu more so represents a polar opposite of Luffy. Luffy represents freedom and liberation. Imu represents order and control. Imu, more than likely, was alive during the Void Century, and even possibly fought against Joy Boy, the original Joy Boy. And by how things went, you can probably say that Imu won. That's kind of a wild thought if you really think about it. Imu fought against the original sun god Nika, the man with the most ridiculous power in the world. And he came out the winner. That is something to be very afraid of. We honestly, from Gear 5 Luffy, from everything that we've seen of him, we haven't seen the extent. We've seen just a tiny bit of what Luffy can do in Gear 5. Who knows what else Gear 5 Luffy can do? But we all know that it's gonna be ridiculous. Kaido may be known to be the strongest. Yes, Kaido, not Shanks. Okay guys? Kaido. But anyways, Kaido may be known to be the strongest, but Imu is an unknown entity to the world. No one knows his true strength. But I guarantee you that Imu will be the strongest One Piece character and the final villain of One Piece for Luffy to overcome. The man of liberation versus the man of control. This will be the final battle. If you enjoyed this video, please, by all means, like and subscribe so that you can join the Vagabond's journey. We're off to our next destination. With that being said, Vagabond gone.